I am very pleased to announce today that my administration has reached an agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police that achieves at least $6 million in saving for the city without layoffs in our police department. As you know, negotiations with the FOP have been challenging, and until late last night, the city was poised to lay off 78 officers to recognize necessary reductions in the budget. With the agreement, we can avert those layoffs and keep these men and women on patrol in our neighborhoods where we need them the most. And I know that many in the community and many at the police department share the sense of great relief that I have, knowing that the layoffs have been averted. The Providence Police have been without a contract since 2007. With this agreement, union leadership has agreed to settle a prolonged contract dispute and enter into new agreements that will extend into fiscal year 2015. Like others in Providence, the men and women of the police department have been asked to share in the sacrifice needed to save our city from fiscal collapse. With this new agreement, FOP leadership has agreed to 6 years with no raise. 6 years. This is a significant and a very real sacrifice, and I commend union leadership under the guidance of Taft Manzotti for their willingness to make this difficult decision. With this agreement, we will offer the police an opportunity to receive one-time stipends in fiscal year 13 and 14 if and only if the department realizes savings in excess of the $6 million in structural savings created through this agreement. If the department realizes additional savings in fiscal year 13 and fiscal year 14 through reductions in operating costs, up to $1.5 million of the additional savings will be dispersed to officers as a one-time stipend. In short, in fiscal year 13 and fiscal year 14, officers will receive additional compensation only if funds for the stipends are made available through additional reductions to the department's operating budget. This compromise makes it possible for the men and women of the force to receive additional compensation without deepening the financial crisis we face. I thank President Manzotti for his willingness to be creative and flexible in joining in this collaborative solution. The new agreement also calls for a salary increase of 4% in fiscal year 13. This agreement also includes a retirement incentive that produces significant savings for the department. Attrition of 35 to 40 officers will enable us to preserve the jobs of junior officers. Additional savings were achieved through changes to current benefits and other things as well, and we'll make the details available as soon as we finalize everything. I know this last month has been a time of great anxiety for our community, especially those living in areas throughout our capital city. And I know it's been a very difficult time for our police officers as well. I'm really relieved to be here today to suspend the layoff process and achieve the savings we need through alternative means. This has always been our goal, and I know it will bring peace of mind to many in our community and to the young men and women who face layoffs as well as to their families. This was a difficult negotiation process, and on behalf of the city's residents, I want to commend everyone who participated for their determination to reach consensus, even when an agreement seemed very unlikely.
The province FOP recognizes the difficulty, financial condition which confronts the city. At the same time, the province FOP had to save 78 jobs and afford the remaining 390 officers an opportunity to receive additional monies provided we can demonstrate the savings. This was not an easy process. However, the city and the union maintains a common goal to resolve the issues with everyone's best interest in mind. We believe this tentative agreement accomplishes that. We will be having a meeting on Monday of our membership to go over the details once they're finalized, and then we'll have a date for the union membership to vote on the tentative agreement to make it finalized.
These were very, very difficult times. We were prepared to reduce our force by 78 police officers, something we did not want to do, something we had to do to face the deficit that we faced with the police budget. And although there were difficult decisions and discussions, you always maintain your professionalism, respect, and common goal in achieving where we are today. We still have language that we need to prepare and execute this agreement. I appeal to the men and women in the Providence Police that you have great leaders representing you in the FOP. And this is a compromise and an agreement that I believe we can all live with. So I'd ask you to give consideration and understand there are compromises and givebacks, but we'll be able to continue with the service to the community of public safety seamlessly without anyone losing their jobs. Thank you, Mr. President, Taft Manzotti, and the entire executive board. We met many times, late at night, but always respectful, always with professionalism, always with an open mind, despite our differences in how we needed to achieve our savings. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership. Mr. D'Amico was sitting with me with the executive board and legal counsel who's in the room for the FOP. There were difficult decisions, but it was always respectful, and I thank you for that. Thank you, Mayor.